It's important to know who Ryan Wesley Routh is. The man who was arrested on Sunday in connection with what the FBI described as an attempted assassination on former President Donald J. Trump. You see, Trump wants the Ukraine-Russia war to stop. I don't think Zelenskyy wants the war to stop. And here it's very strange because it was Putin that invaded Ukraine and not the other way around. But when Prime Minister Modi went and met Zelenskyy, Zelenskyy was not so forthcoming. I don't understand. Why would Zelenskyy say no? Because the aggressor here is clearly Vladimir Putin. The aggressor is Russia. And if the aggressor is Russia, why would the quote-unquote victim of aggression suddenly say, no, we don't want peace, unless India signs a piece of paper condemning Russia? Vladimir clearly says that Zelenskyy and his ministers, they're stealing money. China does not want this war to stop. Now, you'll say that China favors Russia. How can your analysis, Major Arya, be that China does not want Ukraine to stop? It's very simple. Who wants Trump dead? Jai friends, I'm Major Gaurav Arya and you're watching the Chanakya Dialogues English. Like this video, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. As you all know, the Chanakya Dialogues English has crossed 4 lakh subscribers. On this milestone, Team Chanakya Forum thanks all the viewers of the Chanakya Dialogues for making this possible. It is your love and support that keeps us going. Ladies and gentlemen, before I go any further, I'd like to say that it's very difficult in India to get a channel going which discusses only geopolitics, only foreign affairs and national security in English. But 400,000 viewers, 4 lakh viewers all I can say is thank you. And I'd also like to say that it is my hope and desire that one day we see this channel crossing the 1 million mark. And if your blessings and support are there with us, why not? Anything is possible. Also, viewers, the Gaurav Arya podcast is now streaming only on the Chanakya Dialogues English YouTube channel, and you can find our podcast playlist link in the description box below. The Gaurav Arya podcast, a podcast with a perfect blend of foreign affairs, geopolitics and national security. Watch it now.
अतीक जब मुख्यमंत्री की मीटिंग प्रयागराज में तत्कालीन इलाहाबाद में होती है मंच पे, अतीक अपना कुत्ता डैल्मेशियन लेके जाता है. जरा आप गूगल करके देखें. अगर मुख्यमंत्री उसके कुत्ते से हाथ मिला रहा है, आप समझ सकते हैं कि संदेश और हवा किस तरफ बह रही है.
Now to the news. According to the FBI, former US President Trump narrowly escaped an alleged assassination attempt on Sunday in Florida. This incident occurred when Republican presidential candidate Trump was playing golf at the Trump International Golf Club in West Palm Beach. Now, this is not very far away from his house, right? Reports have identified the suspect as Ryan Wesley Routh, 58 years of age, from Hawaii. A high-powered AK-47 style rifle with a scope and a GoPro camera was recovered at the scene. Palm Beach County Sheriff Rick Bradshaw said Secret Service agents saw the rifle barrel poking out from the bushes about 400 to 500 yards away from Trump as they cleared areas of potential threats ahead of his starting to play golf. The agents engaged the gunman, firing at least 4 to 5 rounds of ammunition around 1:30 p.m. The gunman then dropped his rifle, left behind 2 backpacks and other items, and fled in a black Nissan car. The sheriff said a witness saw the gunman and managed to take photos of his car and license plates before he escaped. As per the reports, the golf club was immediately locked down. This attack comes nearly 2 months after Donald Trump was first attacked during his campaign rally in Pennsylvania on 13 July that also led to the death of an attendee. Thomas Matthew Crooks was the gunman who had fired multiple shots at Trump at the rally in Butler, and one of the bullets hit former president's ear. Now, it's important to know who Ryan Wesley Routh is. The man who was arrested on Sunday in connection with what the FBI described as an attempted assassination on former President Donald J. Trump. 58-year-old Ryan Wesley Routh had expressed the desire to fight and die in Ukraine. Routh's posts on the social media site X revealed a penchant for violent rhetoric in the weeks after Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022. I am willing to fly to Kharkov and go to the border of Ukraine to volunteer and fight and die, Routh wrote. Routh, a former roofing contractor from Greensboro, North Carolina, was interviewed by the New York Times in 2023 for an article about Americans volunteering to aid the war effort in Ukraine. Routh, who had no military experience, said he had traveled to the country after Russia's invasion and wanted to recruit Afghan soldiers to fight there. In a telephone interview with the New York Times in 2023, Routh said he was in Washington to meet with the US Commission on Security and Cooperation in Europe, known as the Helsinki Commission, for 2 hours to help push for more support for Ukraine. This commission is influential on matters of democracy and security and has been vocal in supporting Ukraine. Routh also said that he was seeking recruits for Ukraine from among Afghan soldiers who had fled the Taliban. He said he planned to move them, in some cases illegally, from Pakistan and Iran to Ukraine. He said dozens had expressed interest. Following gunshots in his vicinity on Sunday, a statement by Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump's campaign has said that he is safe. Now, I just want to analyze for a minute or two, ladies and gentlemen, what this is about now. Who wants Trump dead? That is the question. This is the second attempt, right? 2 months back, he was shot at narrowly. The bullet narrowly missed his face, his head. And now, once more, a person with an AK-47 rifle, 400 to 500 yards from the presidential hopeful. There are a lot of people who would want Donald Trump dead. But without getting into too much of specifics, because specifics are not available and this is simply my analysis, what is happening is that, you see, Trump wants the Ukraine-Russia war to stop. I don't think Zelenskyy wants the war to stop. And here it's very strange because it was Putin that invaded Ukraine and not the other way around. Putin invaded Ukraine, right? So here, in that act of invasion, Putin is wrong. But when Prime Minister Modi went to meet Vladimir Putin and he said that, I have a plan by which this war can come to an end, he said, fine. I'm happy to help and support, and I'm happy to look at your plan, and if it makes sense to me, why not? I would welcome a ceasefire. This is the same plan that India's NSA, Mr. Ajit Doval, took to Vladimir Putin when they met in St. Petersburg at the sidelines of the BRICS summit. This happened 2 days back. But when Prime Minister Modi went and met Zelenskyy, Zelenskyy was not so forthcoming. Zelenskyy said that, he's pretty much not interested in peace unless India signs a piece of paper that unequivocally condemns Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Now, what India has said that we want peace. Prime Minister Modi has said it on Putin's face, this is not an era for war. We need peace. He has said it to him. But Zelenskyy wants to put terms and conditions, right, which will ensure that there is no peace between Ukraine and Russia. He wants a situation where India is caught in a certain situation. India cannot and will not condemn Russia. What India is saying is that we will put all our weight behind peace and we will tell the Russians, stop fighting, we'll tell the Ukrainians, stop fighting. They even offered, Prime Minister Modi offered India. He said that you come to India, we'll offer you a space where President Putin and President Zelenskyy, both of you guys can sit, talk to each other face to face and sort out your issues, and let's do this. Let's have peace. Putin said yes. Give me the plans. And if I find they're okay, I'm okay with peace. Zelenskyy said no. And I don't understand. Why would Zelenskyy say no? Because the aggressor here is clearly Vladimir Putin. The aggressor is Russia. And if the aggressor is Russia, why would the quote-unquote victim of aggression suddenly say, no, we don't want peace, unless India signs a piece of paper condemning Russia? And I'll tell you the logic behind it. Friends, hundreds of billions of dollars have been poured into Ukraine. Many in the shape of weapons, some of the finest weapon systems in the world, and some of it, outright aid. Just a blank check given to Ukraine, up to billions of dollars, doesn't matter. Ukraine has a blank check because people with the Cold War mindset, and here I'm not defending Putin because Putin was wrong in invading Ukraine, whatever his reasons may have been. But the fact of the matter is that people said, fine, all right, we want peace. Now, Ukraine does not want peace because then this money stops. This is what happens. If Ukraine listens to Prime Minister Modi, if both of them come to New Delhi, I'm talking about Putin and Zelenskyy, if both of them come and there is peace, and Ukraine says, okay, we want peace, then the money stops coming to Ukraine immediately. If billions of dollars per month are flowing into Ukraine. And according to Seymour Hersh, I think one of the brightest minds when it comes to journalism and reporting on foreign affairs and geopolitics and national security, I don't think there is a bigger name than Seymour Hersh. In this article which you see on your screen, Seymour Hersh clearly says that Zelenskyy and his ministers, they're stealing money. And he quotes a CIA report, by the way. The CIA report says Zelenskyy is stealing money. The Americans know Zelenskyy is stealing money. Hundreds upon hundreds of millions of dollars which were given to Ukraine as aid, possibly for rebuilding, possibly for schools and hospitals, has been taken by Zelenskyy and his ministers and put in banks abroad. The Americans know what he's up to. The problem is Zelenskyy will not stop. Zelenskyy will continue this war, because if he does stop, then the money stops coming. Now, who's benefiting? Of course, Zelenskyy is benefiting. But who stands behind Zelenskyy? There are people in politics in America who want this war to continue for various reasons. There are companies that manufacture weapons who have got contracts worth tens of billions of dollars, and they make money when there is bloodshed. Why would they want this war to stop? I mean, for God's sake, this is so clear. Why would they want the war to stop? Because as long as the war goes on, they keep on making money. It's that simple. And also the fact that China does not want this war to stop. Now, you'll say that China favors Russia. How can your analysis, Major Arya, be that China does not want Ukraine to stop? It's very simple. As long as Ukraine and Russia keep on fighting, the Americans and the entire West, and when I say West, I generally mean the NATO countries, if not NATO as an organization, the NATO countries. So in this entire scenario, let us say, that NATO and America suddenly one day see that there is peace between Ukraine and Russia. What will they do? Their attention will then be focused towards China. China does not want that. Today, China is happy because the entire Western world is embroiled in Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Hamas. And as long as that happens, China can grow. China can flex its military and diplomatic muscle. The problem for China will start when the war between Hamas and Israel stops, and when the war between Ukraine and Russia stops. That is when the world, especially the Western world, will focus its attention on China. If you look at the national security document of every Western country, whether it's Canada, whether it's the US, Australia, Germany, UK, Italy, everybody says that the primary threat is China. But in spite of them recognizing that the primary threat is China, they're still embroiled in this war between Russia and Ukraine. They want to get out. They want to focus on China. China does not want them to get out and focus on China. And this is how this entire chessboard is laid out. And this is how China and the other powers and the weapon companies are checkmating the peace that India wants between Russia and Ukraine. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this video. And thank you once again for 4 lakh subscribers. On behalf of the Chanakya Dialogues team, we're truly grateful. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram, Bharat Mata ki Jai.